was called to do an astrology reading for today, November 11th, 2022, 11/11/2022. You know, 11/11 is a portal day. And it's a good day to manifest. It's a good day to really, sit and focus and kind of also restart things because you're entering into a new cycle. And it's been quite a while since I've posted an astrology video. And, there's been some energies that I have been dealing with, trying not to deal with, rather, that I feel like have been invading into my life and invading on me psychically in different ways that have prohibited me, or rather, I just didn't do videos for a while. And I decided on today, 11/11, I'm going to go and I'm going to start doing my astrology videos again. So here I am. And interestingly enough, I'm like, let me go look at the trines, because the trines are good energy, So I go earlier today, around 12 p.m. This is a snapshot here, to look at the trining energy today. And I see that we have a double grand trine, both in the water signs and in the earth signs. So the trine is going to be a 120-degree angle from between any two planets within any two houses. So a grand trine is a trine that connects all three of each sign. So it makes an actual triangle. So that's like the grand trine is a triangle that way and a triangle that way, both pointing up and pointing down, which kind of looks like the hex alpha or the Star of David or the Seal of Solomon. So, some divine energy coming in here. So I really caught my eye and caught my energy, and it drew me to it. So I was like, all right, let me look into the Sabian symbols for this energy. And interestingly enough, the universe gives you interesting confirmations. When you're tapped in and you have these abilities, you're gonna get these intuitive nudges and intuitions, messages sent to you, and then you're gonna get confirmation and confirmation and confirmation and confirmation and confirmation until you really learn to start to trust your intuition. I think that's part of the growing process. And these energies, definitely gave me some confirmations, for sure. So here it is. So at the top of here in Scorpio, the sun is at 19 degrees of Scorpio, which is in the 10th house. The 10th house deals with your achievements in the world. It can deal with authorities. It can deal with public recognition, your career as well, your job, your vocation. A parrot is listening to, sun at 19 degrees of Scorpio in the 10th house. A parrot listening and then talking, repeating a conversation he has overheard. The symbol infers some level of spiritual channeling or the hearing and passing on of messages. Birds symbolize spiritual forces, and parrots symbolize the ability to be able to give voice to the messages. The symbol indicates that someone who is receptive to those thoughts or ideas can process the information to the point where it becomes their own. Although they may really be a channel or a translator rather than the originator of these messages and realizations. Perhaps there is a need to integrate new understandings into your consciousness to make a belief system or a code of living truly your own, with your own stamp of individuality on it. In the positive, transmitting information or knowledge, recorded messages, answering machines, fax machines, translating words of wisdom and knowledge, talking heads, like the people on the news. I'm guessing that's what it's supposed to be. Talkback radio. In the negative, it's repeating without knowing the real meaning or purpose of something, parrot-like behavior, gossip, going over the same territory, repeating the same thing over and over, brainwashing someone, sounding like a broken record. So the sun is our soul. So this is the energy that's kind of coming out. So this is interesting because for me that really connected a lot with the whole aspect of just beginning to do these astrology videos again, and I've been getting a lot of downloads. So those intuitive messages, I definitely can relate to that. The Mercury, which is dealing with our mental, still in the 10th house, dealing with achievements in the world, authority figures, recognition, and your vocation, is at 21 degrees. Obeying their conscience, a soldier resists orders. This symbol shows someone whose conscience stops them from following a certain course of action, staying with a project or relationship when they'd rather leave, or someone not prepared to compromise their values to do something that society says they must do. You may find yourself in situations where what you are expected to do is against your inner values, your conscience, or how you see your future unfolding. You may have to make a difficult choice between allegiance to duty or your own inner truth. True freedom can only be found when one faces situations with a sense of integrity and preparedness to face the consequences, be they positive or negative. So in the positive, this is dealing with personal morality, doing what one's conscience dictates, longing for a return to a state of love and innocence, love that restrains, not following orders or going AWOL, going against the pack. On the negative, this deals with cowardice or a lack of courage to act, not doing what is expected, going over the top in a wild and crazy way, freezing and confining emotions and temper tantrums. Venus is at 24 degrees of Scorpio, still here in the 10th house. Crowds coming down the mountain to listen to one inspired person. This implies having a message or the voice that others flock to in order to listen. Whether you're the one inspired person or someone in the audience, you may feel that you have had some wonderful realizations after hearing inspired messages from within yourself or from an external source. And now you need to bring these lessons or understandings down to an everyday level in order to integrate them into your everyday life. People will have different responses to the messages given. Not all will be responsive, but the message will resonate with those that are meant to hear it. What will be done with this information and how far will it spread? In the positive, power to sway the feelings and thoughts, having a large audience, holding the floor, gurus, lectures, talks, bestsellers, tape recordings, Jesus story, idolatry, presidents. In the negative, naivete, gullibility, believing someone else holds all the answers, non-stop talking, wanting everyone to listen regardless of their input or needs, demanding to be center stage. Neptune at 22 degrees of Pisces in the 2nd house, which is dealing with our resources or resourcefulness, deals with our self-esteem, our values, valuables, material possessions, and our attitudes towards our possessions. This is all Taurian energy right here. A prophet bringing down the new law from the mountain. This shows being able to live life by a set of new laws, or to make a new set of laws that better suits your life and place in the scheme of things. This pictures revelations and spirits of truth. It is important to manifest these truths and laws and integrate them into your everyday life. Codifying the way of humankind can help us understand the limitations of our earthly existence. Although our basic principles may stay the same, the specifics will vary in order to accommodate the changing perceptions. You may find the new laws to live by, or you could be one to bring these rules to the others. Positive, dealing with revelations, channeling information, truths revealed, the Bible, the Quran, the Torah, the 10 Commandments, laying down the law, the Ark of the Covenant, and future planning. Negative, being told what to do, believing one has all of the answers or believing someone else does. Rigid application of dogmatic laws, so staying stuck in the past and not understanding the truth about spirituality and religion. It also deals with bureaucracy and laws set in stone. So this is And the negative, that's stuck in very old energy. Jupiter, 29 degrees of Pisces, still in the second house. Light breaking into many colors as it passes through a prism. This shows analyzing things, considering and drawing conclusions from available data and being perceptive of colors, light, refraction, and reflection, auras, and light. You probably have the ability to break situations down into the simplest components in order to see the full picture. This can and often does lead to a greater understanding of the relationships between the whole and the many parts. Just be careful not to overanalyze, thereby losing the joy that is inherent in the simplicities of life. Taking a single vision and turning it into many individual streams can be rewarding, but it can also confuse and distract. In the positive, this deals with spectrum analysis. Color and crystal healing, rainbows, light refraction, considering many facets of a situation, optics, how things may look, sight, telescopes, microscopes, auras, copying ideas. In the negative, it deals with locked into a set of parameters, overanalyzing things and being blinded by ambition, diffracted personalities, mirages, using instruments yet not seeing things as they are. Black moon at 23 of Cancer in the 6th house. So this deals with self-improvement. This is Virgo, right? It deals with self-improvement, service, employment, work routines, health, nutrition, and duty. Also deals with receipts. Virgos bring those receipts. A woman and 2 men, or a man and 2 women, cast away on a small island. This symbol shows people seem locked into some situation, environment, or a relationship that pushes the boundaries of relationships. There could be too many people, as in relationship triangles, or there could just be too many people to take into consideration, as sometimes happens. For example, when a child intrudes too much into a relationship between adults. You may find that it is difficult to choose what you want, as others may have something different to say. Your wants seem to vacillate from one extreme to the other. Perhaps there's a need to get away from those trying to confuse you with conflicting views, although this may sometimes be impossible. Now, this isn't really even a positive, but it's just all negative. All right, so I'm gonna read them both to you. Feelings of being forced in, little room to move, lack of privacy, questions of fidelity, or rather infidelity, isolation, rivalry, polygamy, claustrophobia, struggle to be noticed, love affairs. And I guess in the double negative, is dealing with not seeing the whole picture, fighting over territory, having too many people to consider, the specter of someone else, saying stuck on someone in the past, jealousy, and unacceptable relationships. So those are all the water energies. Now here are the earth energies here. Icarus at 12 of Capricorn in the 12th house. The 12th house deals with open enemies. 12th house can also deal with service to humanity, self-transcendence, self-sacrifice, retreats from the world, unacknowledged or repressed parts of oneself. A student of nature lecturing, revealing little-known aspects of life. This degree shows the ability to observe things that other people would miss. You can be an example to others for understanding the wonders of nature, weaving together issues to form a story, to lecture, to inform. Often, there's a special talent around natural and alternative issues, and it may be your job to show the way or to teach about nature or medicine or herbs. For example, too much weight has been given to the artificial needs of society, and it's time to redress the balance. Practical applications of knowledge can help people better understand. Revealing the truth can lead to wonder and awe, but also disbelief, and it depends on how it's delivered. In the positive, observing and translating so others may enjoy. Green politics. Natural, I don't really know if green politics are really a positive, because it's whatever. Natural remedies, science and its rewards, drawbacks, whistleblowers, conspiracy theories, workshops. The negative, radical, non-humanistic views, intellectual smugness, lecturing people about their lives, browbeating, lip service to conservative values. I guess that's what I'm supposed to say. And bashing greenies. That's funny. Next, we got Uranus, the planet of chaos here at 16 degrees of Taurus in the 4th house. It's dealing with the home, dealing with family, your private life, your roots, your heritage, psychological foundation, how your parents kind of teach you when you're young. It forms your mind. And those form all of your subconscious patterns and your behaviors. An old person is attempting, with a degree of success, unsuspected by them, to reveal mysteries to a motley group. This symbol implies that one holds an understanding that is either ahead of the times or behind the times. Regardless of which, you may feel that no one is paying attention to your advice or wisdom. But it is not your wisdom that is at fault. It may be your approach coupled with the lack of awareness of the listeners. Perhaps those you are trying to reach are not ready yet for the information, or they instinctively already know it. However, often, people are soaking up things without really showing how much they are getting it. Sometimes you teach better by example than by trying to persuade. In the positive, try a new approach, challenging the status quo, astro drama, uniting diverse people in a common cause, subliminal messages and teaching, revealing the mysteries. In the negative, exaggerated opinions of knowledge, the mistaken belief that others wish to know, not being in touch with the times, ramming one's beliefs, or lack of feedback. Next, we have completing this earthly grand trine, 2 asteroids and kind of astrological point that shows up on the zodiacal wheel. It's not actually a planet or an asteroid or anything like that, but it's used in astrology, which is called a part of fortune. So we had Ceres at 17 degrees, Lilith at 11, and the part of fortune at 8. So Ceres is asteroid and it deals with motherhood and relationships. At Virgo in the 8th house, the 8th house deals with renewal, sex, death, rebirth, transformation, deeply felt peak experiences, depth interactions with others, growth and change. So it's like Scorpio energy, very scorpionic, very intense. It can either deal with death or it can also deal with rebirth. It can also deal with uncovering things from the occult, revealing truths. The opposite of occulting, I forget what it's called, but when you're basically revealing. That's kind of, I guess Scorpio deals with both, but that's scorpionic energy. Ceres dealing with motherhood and relationships in the 8th house of Virgo. A volcanic eruption, in Virgo in the 8th house. A volcanic eruption bringing dust clouds, flowing lava, earth, and rumblings. This situation implies situations, attitudes, or emotions that slowly gather steam, build up, and then suddenly explode. It pictures situations of catharsis. There may be at times an effort to hold things inside, but after a while there can be no more resistance and everything gets forced out. This can be in the form of anger or passion, but it can also be the explosion of insight and creative ideas. It often works far better to just let things blow, as resisting the urge to let go can cause enormous pressure to build up. Look to see the force of emotions is really related to the current situation. It often works far better to just let things blow, as resisting the urge to let go can cause enormous pressure to build up. Look to see if the force of emotions is really related to the current situations. Interesting. Cathartic release, thoughts or ideas pouring out, torrents of emotions, anger that needs expression, pressure cooker environments, aftershocks, shocking news, creating a rumble. Volcanoes, earthquakes. In the negative, over-suppression of energy, explosive emotions, tantrums, choking the air with dust clouds, overreactions, flipping out, shocking news, creating rubble. Lilith, which deals with the shadow side or dark feminine energy. It can also deal with psychic energy. A child molded in their parents' aspirations. Lilith is at 11 of Virgo in the 8th house. This symbol implies having to live up to others' expectations. It's fine to be molded by people's desires or by our parents, but often this does not reflect our true potential. The parent often misses the truth of the offspring and may project their own unlived life into that child. Taking back one's sense of individuality and going after what you really want will probably lead to more success in your life. Worrying about what others want, expect, or think can lead to shallow choices or responses. On the other hand, this can show people being proud of what you've achieved and what you've grown into. In the positive, this would mean feelings of being directed and protected on one's journey, being shaped against one's free will. It's not so positive. Plastic or emotional surgery. Parents as patterns. Predetermined destinies. Tied to apron strings. Sounds like some Freemason shit right there. Tied to apron strings. Conforming to social expectations, controlling attitudes, squash individuality, letting down the side, being a mama's boy, narcissistic. And the point of fortune, which is the astrological point that deals with success in your chart, is at 8 degrees of Virgo, which is at this point in time was in the 8th house. A young person takes their first dancing lesson. This symbol shows the periodic need to learn lessons in life. Although you may know a lot, there often comes periods when you realize that there's far more to learn. Perhaps you will be the young person or the one giving the dancing lesson, the teacher. Sometimes you are new to situations and need to learn. Other times you show others the way. The secret to success with this degree is to always be learning, always taking in lessons that life serves up to you. You have the potential to do well, but initially things may seem difficult or unfamiliar. The willingness to learn new steps in life helps, as does taking instruction. In the positive, practice makes perfect. And the higher talents being developed, including discipline, self-control, and concentration. The need to conform to new steps, following the rhythm, music, and dance. The negatives deals with difficulty in understanding lessons, continual return to the beginning, not paying attention, not wanting to move or surrender to the rhythms, being naive. So these energies definitely, resonated for me. You'd have to look again at all of these individual points and compare them to your own birth chart to see whether or not the positive or negative aspects are applying to yourself. I'm sure if any of this resonated already, you already know which parts are resonating with you. But I'm just going to go ahead and read them all again, so in case you want to, look up where these planets and asteroids are in your birth chart at these degrees, it can actually probably show you a little bit more immediately in your life, specifically what is going on for you. So the sun is in Scorpio at 19 degrees. And in this chart, it was dealing with 10th house energies. Mercury is at 21 degrees of Scorpio. Venus is at 24 degrees of Scorpio. Neptune is at 22 degrees of Pisces. And this chart here is in the 2nd house. So Neptune at 22 degrees of Pisces, Jupiter at 29 degrees of Pisces, Black Moon at 23 degrees of Cancer, Icarus at 12 degrees of Capricorn in the 12th house here in this chart, Uranus at 16 degrees of Taurus in the 4th house here, Ceres at 17 degrees of Virgo, Lilith at 11 degrees of Virgo, and part of fortune at 8 degrees of Virgo here in the 8th house here on this chart. So you might want to compare those to your own birth chart and transits today, and I guess also tomorrow, to see where and how these energies affect you personally. This definitely resonates for me with the energy that I have been feeling, and with the intuitive messages that I have been receiving. And yeah, you know, it's just it's interesting, and I guess on some level, you know, thank you to God, of course. Thank you to God for protecting me and keeping me informed and keeping my spiritual eyes open. I definitely am resonating with, you know, receiving these divine messages, and knowing to tell the truth and do what's right, even if it means going against the grain. And the crowds coming down from the mountain, prophet bringing new law. Perhaps these messages, the things I say on my Facebook is, you know, garnered some attention. I don't know, realistically, because people don't ever respond to anything that I write. But I also have a feeling in the background, a lot of this other stuff here, you know, might be some of the drama that another person in the background who's been attacking me psychically, and you know, gang-stalking me, and yeah, it might be some of the energy that they might be dealing with right now in their life. Hopefully people learn that you should not cast judgments and gang stalk on people involving, you know, your family members and all kinds of sorts of things, fraudulent paperwork and insurance scams and different things, because that kind of shit comes to bite you in the ass. And you know, being in relationships, jumping from person to person, on wanting to always have a third, fourth, fifth, sixth party, cheating and lying, and then trying to destroy someone's heart, and then going and lying on that person's name, and telling everyone they're the bad guy, and then continuing to do this from relationship to relationship, while spell casting and trying to poison people and do all kinds of things to maintain control in your relationships in your life is not, it's not cool. It's not okay. God does not respect it. I do not respect it. I do not allow it. I rebuke all of that energy. So, yeah, I think it's real interesting how these energies right now in the astrology kind of confirm a lot of this energy that I have been feeling, that I know is out here in the collective energy right now. Hopefully you are not dealing with anything like that in your own life. Hopefully, you know, you are at a place that if you've been studying, because I like this one right here, you know, the piano, the dance lesson. I'll just read that one more time, because I think that combined also with the first energy of the inspired word and the divine word and the bringing new law and the people coming to flock to see, you know, all the biblical stuff too, because I've also been posting much biblical stuff for the last couple of weeks as well. So it's interesting. Energy is interesting, but even if it's not so specific for you in terms of like psychic abilities and God and the Bible and all that, it might just be about your creativity coming back to you, and having been through a period of stagnation, a stagnation that was caused by outside influences, maybe the pressure of a parent, for example, or a relationship, or too many, something like that. But being able to come back into a state where you have been practicing and working, and then now you're ready to show. Now you're ready to bring the new law and the new truth to those people who are going to be coming down the mountain to see what you have to say. All right. That's it. Peace.